What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here, back with another Superior Drummer 3 tutorial. Today we're going to talk about creating songs using the Grooves library and the Song Creator feature. Included with every version of Superior Drummer and Easy Drummer is a library of MIDI drum grooves that you can just drop right into your compositions. You can also buy them separately as packs. Now, I have a whole bunch of these packs. You don't necessarily need as many as I've got, but it is going to make this process a whole lot easier. I personally think that having a ton of options for this is going to be easier for you rather than harder, unless you get option paralysis really easily. But either way, you can get away with using just the grooves that come with Superior Drummer 3. There's a ton of great stuff in there, and you should be able to find what you're looking for pretty quick. So I've thought of basically 4 different ways that you can use the MIDI drum grooves that you've got. You can, of course, number one, just straight up use them in your productions. You could just use all these MIDI drum grooves, drop them into Superior Drummer, mix the drums, and that's your drummer, and that's it. Probably not ideal because it's not particularly original, but if you want to do that, you can. Number 2, you can use them as basically pre-production placeholders. You can drop them into your song, just have them there so you have something to play along with, something that's close to what you're going to have in the final product, something you can show a real drummer so that he can play it like that, or whatever. Number 3, you can modify them for either pre-production or full production. You can take the drum grooves, find something you really like that's really close to what you need, and then you can change it up to exactly what you need. So, for instance, maybe you've got a really good heavy drum groove, but the kick drum pattern doesn't match the guitar exactly how you want it to. So then you just take it and you go in and you modify the kick drum pattern to match exactly what you need. You can do the same thing with cymbals and toms and whatever else. Number 4, you can use it as like a songwriting prompt or a jam or practice tool. So essentially you can use it to kick off some ideas or have something just to play along with when you're coming up with parts, just to really feel where everything sits. Or just for practice purposes, you can just set it as a loop or make up a little song to play along with, just so that you have something with some rhythm. Everything I'm about to show you can be used for all 4 of those purposes. So let's dive into the Song Creator tab and see what it can do. So the first thing you're going to want to do is click on the Grooves tab, because that's where the Song Creator lives and that's where all your MIDI libraries live. So as you can see, I have a ton of MIDI libraries. I've used a lot of TuneTrack products over the year, Easy Drummer, Superior Drummer 2, and now Superior Drummer 3. And I've collected a lot of the MIDI packs. You don't need this many, but I like having them. So anyway, one great thing about the Grooves tab is that they have this filter system so that you can easily find exactly what you need very quickly. So as usual, I will be putting together a metal song. So we're going to go ahead and click the metal filter for genre. Play style, let's see. I want something fast, so we're going to go ahead and click the D beat. And then straight, it is not swung. We are in 4/4. And I want the hi-hat to be open. So that's narrowed it down quite a bit. Now we're looking at just the beats that are going to fit in the category that we need. We're right about around 180 BPM. So basically anything between 160 and 200 or 210 is probably going to work. Because these grooves are all MIDI, they'll go at any tempo that you have the song at already. But you know, they're ideas that were worked out at a certain tempo, so they're going to sound best in the same neighborhood. If you go 10, 20, 30 BPM in either direction, it'll probably still hold together, but go too far and it's going to start to sound a little wacky. So now that we've narrowed it down a bit, we can audition all of these grooves pretty quickly and easily by just hitting the play button right next to the star here. That's a great way to find a single part right away. You can just grab it once you've decided which one you're going to use, and you can just drop it right into the song builder, and then it's in your song. Let's say you quickly want to put together a song from scratch. You've decided that you like this intro part. You can drop it into the MIDI drop zone and get a ton of suggestions for other parts that are going to match with that part that you picked out. So as you can see here, it's laid out in terms of intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, fill, and ending. So now you can mix and match from any of these and drop them here and it'll add it to your song. We've already got an intro, but I don't really think this is very intro-like. So I'm going to grab this other one that's just like a little snare roll thing. That sounds a little more intro-like to me. That builds up the tension a little bit. So we want that to kick into our verse riff. So let's see what we've got for a verse. All right, I think I like this verse 2. So I'm going to grab that and drop it in. So we'll probably have 2 of those. So in order to make it twice as long, I'm just alt dragging. So now there's 2 of them. Okay, so then we got the chorus. This one goes to a ride variation of the same kind of idea, or a crash. China, or a different crash sound. So let's go nuts and go with the China one. So that one's a little shorter, so if we want a full-on chorus, we're going to have to build it out a bit and copy and paste that a bunch of times. And then you can take a fill and drop it on top of the last thing, and it'll just cancel out the other bits that it's on top of, and you'll just hear the fill. So I'm going to play back everything that we've dropped in so far. Of course, you're welcome to drop in other fills so that you don't wind up with this sort of repetition factor here. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to replace some of these fills during the chorus. Yeah, like that's a good one. Cool, so once we've built out our verse and chorus, if you want, you can just grab the whole thing and alt drag it or copy and paste, and then you've got your second verse and chorus. And we can figure out a bridge. So I think some of these beats are starting to sound a little samey, so I'm going to go into a different pack and try to find a different bridge part that I like a bit better. Now, of course, this is going to depend largely on what you're doing with this. If you've already got a riff in mind and you have kind of a groove that you're looking for, you might have to look a little bit harder. If you're not finding something that you're looking for, it's possible that you have the filters set too specifically, and maybe you should take some of them off. For instance, I had hi-hat open selected. That means I'm only getting open hi-hat grooves. Cool, this sounds like a good bridge groove. Cool, so let's drop that in. So that gives us a full 8 bars, which is a decent sized bridge. That's pretty typical. Actually, in England, they call it the middle 8 instead of the bridge. So that's perfect. And then if you like, you can copy and paste in your chorus after that. That'll give you a super basic verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and then probably a double chorus if you like. And then you can drop in some kind of an ending. That's pretty exciting, kind of like number 4. So now if you are stoked on what you've made, you can just go ahead and select all these little loops, hit the merge button. That puts it all into one continuous MIDI file, and then you can grab it. Just go ahead and drop it right into your DAW, and there you are. Now, of course, you absolutely do not have to drop it into your DAW at all. You can just leave it here in Superior Drummer and just make sure that the follow host button is on, and it'll just play it right out of Superior Drummer. It's kind of like a complete self-contained DAW and MIDI editing and MIDI playback system. So you can just leave it in there. But if you feel more comfortable editing and using MIDI within your DAW, then you can just either drag it and drop it, or you can go to the Track tab and you can export the song as a MIDI file and re-import it into your DAW. So let's go a little bit more in depth with the song creator. So let's say that I really like this intro. Okay, we can drop that into the MIDI drop zone on the song creator. Let's pick an AABA long form and then just drop it in. And that gives us an entire song based just on that intro, and then using other parts that the song creator thinks will fit together nicely. Song Creator has within it many different song structures, which will give you lots of different results depending on what it is that you drop into it. And of course, what your needs are will determine exactly what it is that you want out of the Song Creator. But I highly recommend trying out a bunch of different ones. It could give you some ideas for new stuff to try, different song structures that maybe you haven't worked on before. And basically, it's just a really good jumping off point to kind of kickstart your creativity. One thing that I find is going to save you a lot of time in the long run is to go through, listen to a bunch of the different grooves, and star ones that you think you're going to use a lot. Because then you can just hit the star filter and just get a list of the ones that you've starred, so then you can just have your favorites all in a list. And if it's ones that you're going to use a lot, that's going to save you a ton of time and a lot of frustration. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped you figure out how to use the Song Creator and Drum Grooves library in Superior Drummer 3 to help create drum tracks that you can really use. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button for more reviews and original content. And check out all my other Superior Drummer 3 tutorials in this playlist right here. And I'll see you real soon.